Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. Today, we're doing the twosun TS90 and M390 titanium alloy handles. Before I get too far into it, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. Vets, I love you. You have a place here. We back the blue over here. We support Leo. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, this is another knife sent to us by way of Big Red EDC from Rusty Knife Lover. Now, let me say this up front. This one was given to Rusty by Scott Big Bore Williams. If you're not subscribed to Big Bore, go on over there, check him out. I'm going to put a link in the description. Now, there's a couple other guys who play a factor in these knives, whether it be reviewing or have something to do with them. One is my guy Kevin over there from Lefty EDC. I think a lot of Kevin. I like his channel a lot. Check him out. And then there's another guy, Knives Fast. Knives Fast. He did some reviews on these as well. His name is Casey. Check Kevin, check Casey, check Big Bore out. I'll put the link in the description to all three below. And again, to Rusty and to Big Red, thank you for sending these. Now, yes, at the 35-second mark, I did cut myself because I'm a dumbass. This is a slip joint, but it's not one of those that free fall. It like locks halfway. So I was going to demonstrate that when, in fact, my dumbass did close it on my finger. This knife is insanely sharp, and I have no excuse for it. Now, I learned very quickly not to do that, and that would be take it from old Scabber. I'm going to put another link in the description below. Some of my description will be full links, but you can actually get this knife on Amazon. Cheers. Thank you, Scab. People say, Scab, those are bad for you. They're better than meth and pills. I promise you that. So, what we're doing right here, guys, is cutting up a little cardboard at work. I wanted to cut as many mediums with this knife as I could. Let me throw out a couple more quick statistics for you so we can move on past that part. The blade length is just under 3 inches. It's like 2 3/4, something like that. The blade thickness is 3.5 millimeters. The handle, again, I am a handle guy, is 4 inches long. The weight for this size knife, now you got right over 6 inches, almost 7, but the weight on this thing is 2.82 ounces for those of you that matters to. It is their night morning design or their style. Now here's a Cuban from Larry's, which is fantastic when you put a little hot sauce on it, and my Propel in the background. Now, I know it's not as good as a hand-pressed Cuban. For the love of God, man, I get it. But I didn't really have time to whip one up at 2 in the morning to demonstrate knife prep or food prep with this knife. So you'll forgive me. I do enjoy the fact that on twosun's website, they say that it's very sharp. Let me say this, guys. It is insanely sharp. It is M390 steel, and it is a slip joint. So getting past the specs there, I just wanted to say that. And again, guys, I'm reminded daily, every time I get a little confident or a little arrogant or feel like I'm doing really well handling a knife, I do something stupid. It's in my blood. What can you do? So please, when you're dealing with knives, just be careful. And somebody's going to say, well, I never cut my... Well, good for you. You know, special K. Good for you there. I told my grandma that one time in front of my dad. She had said something. I said, well, good for you. And my dad about knocked my head off. So that's probably the first time in 50 years I've uttered that statement. Just a little fun fact there. Now, here's the deal, guys. I carry a lot of knives. Y'all know that. It's well established. And we'll get to that point in 1 second. This is the Donnie B All Day drop test. The Donnie B All Day throw it at the stump test. Just checking out really the tip, the edge. Now, this particular style or this design is the same design that was given to me by Gene Johnson. Mine is in, I believe it's G10 and D2. And it's a little bit bigger, but this style is kind of like a modified Warncliffe or a sheep's foot. And again, guys, throughout this video, please just kind of watch. Again, I set my videos up so that if you turn off the noise, you turn off the narration, you would understand the capabilities of this knife, or the capabilities of the knife in incapable hands. Let's put it that way. This thing is ridiculously sharp. The other thing this is it held an edge all the way through this. Now, we cut 3 different kinds of wood. We cut a 2x4, this hackberry tree, and then we shave up some fat wood at the end. So a couple of hardwoods in there, and then one kind of medium, one kind of soft. But we cut all kinds, or sliced all kinds of wood. At no time did this knife have any problem. At the end of this video, we're going to cut up a piece of paper like we do. Just see how the edge held up, and then I'll strop it up and get these knives ready to go on to their next destination. I cannot thank Rusty enough. Now, back to my point on carrying different kinds of knives. One kind of knife that I don't mention a lot, I carry a little case. It's a Slipjoint. It's just an old school, kind of an old man knife, but that's kind of why I carry it. I mention that because this is a Slipjoint, kind of an old school knife. It's a good knife to learn on. It's a good knife to start on. DJ Horn and I had this conversation the other day. A Slipjoint, basically, said an old man described it to him this way one time. A folder or a Slipjoint is nothing but a broken knife. So if you can learn to handle it with care and safely, you can handle any knife, and that's true. I say that having cut myself, but I like carrying a little bit of a traditional knife on me. I will tell you this size knife is not my ideal size. It's just not. But I do like having a smaller knife. Now, would I carry this? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the more I play with knives, the more I do with knives, the more I mess with knives, the more I'm coming to the realization that if you got a sharp knife on you, depending, regardless of the situation, you're not ever out of the game, out of the fight, out of whatever. And I'm not even talking really about self-defense there. I'm just talking about in a survival situation or a workday situation, food prep, whatever. If you've got a sharp knife on you, you're in pretty good shape. You can make things happen. Now here you see this old water hose, and I did some modified push cuts to it, right through it, no problem. This is one of the sharpest damn knives I've ever had the privilege of messing with. Now, again, I'll put a link in the description on Amazon. If you want to check it out, please do so. It's a great little knife. I've seen them anywhere from like $90 to $110. This thing is phenomenal. Now, it's not the best to do tests like stabbing and things like that, and I wasn't going to do that and have it close on me. But I like this test right here. It had good penetration on the stab. This is some of that old nylon strapping that they use to tie up trees or tie down trees, however you want to say it. And here's some bungee cord, an old bungee cord I had in my truck. You see it goes cut right through the paper like it should. But it also cut this zip tie no problem. And we did a few just kind of push cutty tests on this. A little bit of a saw there. Zero problems. I am over the moon. This knife, yes, I love this knife. And again, we're not here to talk about or test or look at the aesthetics of the knife. I think aesthetically it's pleasing. It's very lean. It's very light in the pocket. It does not come with a pocket clip. So it's one that would just fall down in your pocket. But at the same time, at 2.8 ounces, you don't know it's there. And it's a great knife. I don't think there's been any medium we've cut or any situation we've been in here where it's been a problem. Now, here's some of that fat wood. I realized this week I had not done a fat wood fire, so I thought I would. And here in about a minute and a half, we're going to swap topics and I want to talk about the way I'm going to start doing some shout outs and things like that. Right here, I should have got a little closer, and I apologize for that on the close-up, but you can see some of those little curly cues. that are really, 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 I mean, just good, fine work here. Now, having the knife positioned the way I do, you can see that we can make big curls, little curls, however you want to do it. The knife's sharp enough too that most of the time your fat wood can be very hard, very difficult. This was not. Really, nothing was. And I was surprised this knife, in my opinion, punches well above its size. A good sharp knife, you can't go wrong. And like I said, we haven't had a fat wood fire, so we're going to do that in just a minute. Let me take a minute, guys, to kind of turn direction here. Just kind of watch what we got going on. One of the things that I've been trying to do the past few videos is not get tied up and get lost in trying to name everyone in a shout out. I know that I can get very, very rambly on that, and I know a lot of you do fast forward through that. And so I don't want to do that and negate a shout out, because I believe strongly in this community. I believe strongly in building one another up. I believe strongly in helping each other grow. Now, here's our paper cutting test at the end of cutting everything. Having said that, what I'm going to start doing is having some standing shout outs in the description. And I'll mention it, go to the description to figure out my shout outs now. And we'll have like Shredder, Steel Forged and Fire, some of those guys. But I want to have some other guys, you know, the Angry Dracula, My Bad Adventures, Brothers in the Knives, guys like that. Because what happens is I start naming folks like I'm doing now, and then I get a little panicky because I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm even doing it now, and that does distract from the video. So what I want to do is use my description to post some standing shout outs. Please check those out, or some guys who don't get a lot of love on here. And I also want to start using my community post. I don't use it a lot for myself, so I figured I would take and start shouting out some other channels on that. That way you can just go to my community post on YouTube, go to their video, and check them out. Now, with this last minute we have here, this Fatwood Friday, or this Fatwood Thursday fire, I want to dedicate to my guy, my brother from another mother, Donnie B. All Day. Donnie has worked tirelessly to help me with my channel. He's been there every time I had a question. He is marching towards 10,000 subscribers. I want him to hit it. I want him to get there. And I want to dedicate this fire to D-Bad. Well, guys, we've got about 30 seconds left. And here's another look at the twosun TS90 as it comes creeping in. It really is a sleek and pretty knife. Good looking knife. And I love it. Well, listen, my guy Mikey, whom I love, says it best. Says, Scab, never give up, never surrender, and everything will be all right. And Mikey's true. Well, I love y'all. God knows I do. God bless y'all. I hope he does. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son.